Welcome to Workhorse Wrestling Network. This is the new version of Under the Radar. This is your Under the Radar Ring of Honor review. Instead of giving you a long show at the end of the week, myself and CM are going to split up the four shows that we normally cover on Under the Radar: Ring of Honor, MLW, BTE, or Being the Dark Order, whichever is going on at the time, and Impact into four separate shorts so it's easier for you all to digest. As a result, I've got Ring of Honor and MLW as I did MLW before. So this is my first Ring of Honor review. The hope is to get this review done in about 10 minutes or so. This is a review of last night's episode of Ring of Honor on Honor Club TV, which is a go home show before tonight's, or before Friday night's, I apologize, April 5th Ring of Honor Supercard of Honor show, which we'll be doing a watch long for on Workhorse Wrestling Network. Please make sure and join us for that. Yesterday on Ring of Honor on the 4th of April, the show started with a Proving Grounds match between the Infantry and the Kingdom, in which the winner, if the Infantry gets a win, gets a title shot in the future. And the Infantry got a win. Actually, let me rephrase that. It was a 10-minute time limit on the match, and the match lasted the time limit. As a result, technically, um, the infantry survived, and they now get a title shot, or an opportunity. They now get a chance to ask for a title shot, and they did not waste any time. They asked for a title shot at Ring of Honor, Supercard of Honor tonight. Now, I'm recording this on Friday. I apologize. I keep saying tonight. I'm recording this in the morning on Friday, April 5th. So tonight on Ring of Honor Supercard. So we will get that match. I don't know. I don't think it announced whether it was going to be on the 0 hour or whether it will be on the main card, but we'll look forward to that. That will be a Ring of Honor Tag Team Championship match, Infantry versus the Kingdom, which should be a really good match. Then we had Kyle Fletcher giving a promo backstage about his match for Supercard of Honor against Lee Johnson. Um, and they had a nice little back and forth. Solid little promo work here. Both guys are decent on the mic. Uh, Neither of them are what I would call phenomenal, but both of them are good and serviceable. This was fun. This episode of Ring of Honor, full disclosure, we haven't done Under the Radar in a while because Workhorse had, had to do some fill in for some absent people. So Under the Radar had been one of those shows that we kind of unfortunately kind of pushed aside for a minute. So I hadn't watched Ring of Honor in probably 2 months. So this is the first episode of Ring of Honor I've watched in about 2 months, and this was a very backstage promo storyline heavy Ring of Honor, which honestly I'm okay with. I mean, normally I'm much more of a wrestling guy, and I want to see much. I'm big on the in ring work more than the storylines and more than the backstage stuff. But I thought this worked really well, and all of this I thought, for the most part, worked really well to hype up Supercard of Honor. So I thought the show worked well as a go-home show. This felt more like a cohesive weekly show as opposed to what it felt like when I was watching it every week before for Ring of Honor or for Under the Radar, where it was just a bunch of matches, which was fine. Again, my wrestling soul loves that, but the sports entertainment part of me that I enjoy also, it makes it flow better when you have storylines. So this was a storyline heavy episode, and I appreciate that. Let's see. We then had Anna Jay defeat Nikita in a solid match with a gory bomb. Anna Jay looked good in defeat. It was definitely an Anna Jay showcase. Nikita didn't get much offensive match, didn't last very long. Um, then we had Dalton Castle cut a promo backstage. He blamed Johnny TV for all of his issues and burning everything that he loved. Um, but he said he's going to destroy Johnny TV at Supercard of Honor. They have a match. I believe it's in the 0 hour. So then we go obviously from Dalton Castle. The natural thing is to go to Johnny TV cutting a promo in Los Angeles, where he talks about the city can eat your dreams. Um, he says that guys like Dalton Castle are not ready, and that he's going to be victorious at Supercard of Honor because, in his words, honor sucks. Uh, So yeah, two solid promos. Um, two guys that are good on the mic. Dalton Castle's really good on the mic. So is Johnny TV. And I thought they did a good job of piping up this match for Supercard of Honor. We next had Lee Johnson defeat Nick Camarado in a solid match with the Frog Splash. I enjoyed this match a lot. Lee Johnson looked good. Lee Johnson got the win here, ahead of his match with Kyle Fletcher at Supercard of Honor, as you kind of would expect. The crowd here was hard on Nick Camarado with the shave your chest chance, which made me laugh. It's a little rough on Nicky. He is a hairy guy, but leave poor Nick alone. Um, but I laughed a lot, and this was a solid match. Then we had Cole Carter and Griff Garrison uh, being interviewed backstage, where uh, Cole's looking for Maria. Or yeah, Cole is looking for Maria, and kind of obsessed with that. Griff's a little more focused, um, and they have they signed a contract. I apologize, that revealed that Cole Carter is going to have a match with Serpentico at Supercard of Honor. I'm assuming that will definitely probably be on the pre-show, um, but nonetheless should be fun. I like Serpentico. He showed up and got the contract signed. Um, he basically he showed up and said, "Here, sign this," and Cole was, talking about Maria and didn't really pay attention, signed it, and then realized that it was a match, a contract for a match at Supercard of Honor with Serpentico. So we're gonna get Serpentico versus Cole Carter at Supercard of Honor. Then we had Nyla Rose defeat Alexia Nicole with a torture rack cutter. Uh, this is a very quick match, Nyla Rose showcase. Not a whole lot to say here. Lexi Nair interviewed Nick Camarado backstage, who was interrupted by Jacoby Watts. Oh, I apologize. During Lee Johnson and Nick Camarado's match, Jacoby Watts had come out to the top of the um, ring ramp, and was standing there kind of distracting Nick Camarado a little bit. I'm not totally sure what this is going to be here, Nick. So later, Lexi's interviewing Nick Camarado. He's interrupted by Jacoby Watts. Watts said that he was the catalyst for his rise and asked him if he would join on the road to his transformation. And Camarado accepted. So it appears Nick Camarado is now joined Jacoby Watts, and what I assume will be an ongoing faction. Looks like a culty type deal. Jacoby Watts looks a little cultish. So we'll see what that ends up being. I like Nick Camarado. Hopefully, this gives him a little bit more to do. Let's see. Then we had Evil Uno defeat London Lightning in a solid match. I thought London Lightning was going to get the win here a couple times. There were a couple close 2 counts or 3 counts. I'm sorry, on Evil Uno, and they gave London Lightning a lot of offense in this match. He looked good, but Evil Uno ultimately got the win, as he should. Evil Uno's probably a couple tiers above London Lightning. Um, Let's see. We had a video package with Tony Nese, Josh Woods, Aria Davaria, and Mark Sterling, the premier athletes. They will return on 0 Hour. That's what it's called, for Supercard of Honor tonight. So uh, the premier athletes will be on that 0 Hour show. I'm not exactly sure what they're going to do. Um, then we had Billy Starks and Lexi Nair host a contract signing between Sheeta and Athena, which I've been outspoken against contract signings, and I normally don't like them. This wasn't terrible. I thought it came off okay. Um, Billy Starks, we had Queen Aminata come out. Queen Aminata is wrestling Billy Starks at Supercard of Honor. Sheeta is challenging Athena for the Ring of Honor Championship at Supercard of Honor. So all of this works towards building up towards tonight's pay-per-view Supercard of Honor. I thought it was, well done, acted well. Athena slapped Sheeta, leading to Sheeta blasting Starks with a kendo stick, and it kind of all ended up breaking down. But it was a solid little segment. Even though I don't like these, I thought it came off okay. Then we had what I thought was the best segment of this show, which was Mark Briscoe and Eddie Kingston sitting down for an interview with Lexi Nair. They're both in chairs. Mark's talking about how he has to win on the anniversary of his brother Jay. He loves Eddie, but he's got to win the title. Eddie says basically the same thing. Um, he loves Mark. Mark's his boy, but he has to retain the title. Without the title, he's nothing. He for himself to stay sober and to not drink after losing the previous title. Um, he needs to keep this championship. So I thought both of them had a little bit of a frog in the throat. They were both emotional. Eddie a little more than others. I thought this was the best thing on the show. I thought it did a great job at hyping up tonight's match between these two for the Ring of Honor World title. I assume Mark Briscoe's going to win here because it's on the anniversary of his brother winning the first time. His brother's deceased. Even though Eddie says he has to win, I don't think there's anything. Knowing the kind of person that Eddie is, I don't think there's anything Eddie would love more than to let Mark Briscoe have this moment and put him over and let him have the title here. So I'm assuming Mark Briscoe wins here. I feel a little sad for Eddie. If he loses here, he will have lost two of the three titles. I'm not sure if he still holds the New Japan title. I don't think he does. I think he's lost that as well. Um, but he will have lost the Ring of Honor World Championship and the AEW Continental Classic title. So that's a little unfortunate, but I do think Mark Briscoe gets a win here, and I'll be happy for Mark when he does. Then we had the last match of the show, which was Top Flight and Action Andretti in a match against Christopher Daniels, Matt Sydal, and Jack Cartwheel. Top Flight and Action Andretti got the win in a very solid match. All six of these guys can really wrestle. Jack Cartwheel's a little bit of the outlier just because he's not a regular on Ring of Honor or AEW, so you're probably not as familiar with him as these other guys. Obviously, we're happy Dante and Darius are both healthy at the moment, so Top Flight is in full swing. Action Andretti's been with them for a while. That's a little trio that's been working for a while. I don't know why they don't just call them all Top Flight instead of just Top Flight and Action Andretti. And Christopher Daniels and Matt Sydal were Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions earlier or last year. And have been doing a lot of good solid work on Ring of Honor for a while now. Obviously,